we invite you, wherever you are, whether you're at home or whatever, to kick your shoes off and put your feet up and lean back and get yourself a cup of coffee or something and just relax and join us in enjoying some very quiet and romantic and relaxed music for a couple of hours.
Nice stuff.
Welcome to the Saturday Night Progressive Rock Outpost. Welcome to the Gagliarchives, your weekly progressive rock reference guide and the definitive source for the progressive rock collector.
You know, at some point in my life, if you like, my career after Gentle Giant, I started moving away from that into being just an executive, and that scared me. That was a very scary period of time, actually, when I was running ATCO at the end of that period.
I never rule anything out or anything in. I have to be honest. There's no plans, you know.
You know everyone's dying for it.
Well, I know people say that, but I'm not sure whether it's ever as good when it actually happens. You know, you think it's much nicer in theory. It's better to dream about than to actually hear. You know.
Yeah.
And obviously the easiest option would be just to do some live playing. Well, one just really did mainly old stuff, you know, because I think in many ways that's what people would like most.
Yep. So this is it, guys. For those of you listening, this is happening live right here on the Gagliarchives.
No, we have three very good friends of ours who have been doing some of their own stuff for many years now, and a soiled industry professional as well, who's been with us for a few years. The gentleman I'm speaking of is Jim Robinson and Ray Laboda, both very instrumental. And then there's Kevin Feely, who's been the production manager for the last 4 years.
In the point where my kind of writing and expansion and interpretation of meets his music, and I figure that's the best way to sort of pay a tribute, really.
Yeah.
I was really moved, Tom. I mean, between you and me, and the listening audience,
right.
I actually did try to get the band together during the 80s. I had hoped that music would be stronger than the various egos around, but I couldn't get it together.
Hello, this is Jean-Luc Ponty, and you are listening to the Gagliarchives.
If I was to go into your home studio and your CD player, what do you got on?
Well, what do I have? I have a flamenco album that my wife was listening to when she was 16 years old, and she found it again after so many years.
Wow.
And so I transfer it into my Pro Tools so that I could press it on a CD and she can hear it again.
Hi, this is Pete Travis from Marillion. You're listening to the Gagliarchives. Can I say that on air?
Ladies and gentlemen, a band for the ages. This is Marillion.
Part of the reason for the reunion, I think, as well as a genuine desire for the four of us to be together again and to see if it would work.
Hello, this is Bill Brewster, the recently retired drummer from rock and jazz groups King Crimson, Yes, and Earthworks. You're listening to Gagliarchives. I've been edging towards it in the last 2 or 3 years. I've noticed that my heart probably isn't as completely in it as it should have been.
And it felt like Crimson was coming to the end of a phase, and I'm just ready to do something else.
This is Chris Poland of Ohm, formerly of Megadeth, and you're listening to Thomas Gagliardi on Z88.9 Gagliarchives, South Jersey's finest progressive rock, 13 years running.
You have some stuff coming up where you guys have recorded with Humphreys McGee, if I'm correct.
Oh yeah, man! Last January, we hooked up with them when they came out for NAMM, and we had 2 full days, like 2 8-hour days, where they came down to my studio, and we just threw every mic we had up and just recorded live. Everybody just bleeding all over everything, no gobos or anything, and it came out really cool, man.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Patrick Moraz, and you are listening to the Gagliarchives on 88.9.
Yeah.
And then I had the percussionist in the studio, Djalma Correa, who was doing all the percussion on that. You know. But the piece before, of course, I recorded it originally in Brazil with my 16 percussionists.
Yeah.
And then the percussionist, Djalma, the star percussionist on the whole album, was arriving actually from Tokyo. He said, "Oh, compadre, to the band," you know. He speaks in Brazilian. He said, "Okay, I'll come and play on your album. No problem. I'm on my way back to Rio. I'm in Tokyo right now. I'll charge you nothing, but you just take care of my equipment back to Rio." I said, "No problem."
Salut, je suis Greg de Nebel Nest et vous êtes bien sur Gagliarchives.
I always thought that when that album that we were working on,
that was
the summer of '73, was going to be really great. It was like going to go beyond Birds of Fire. It was we were in the same studio in Trident, in London, with the same producer engineer Ken Scott, Beatles guy, and it was just the sounds he was getting out of the band was just phenomenal.
Right.
And unfortunately, there was all kinds of friction, and the only way we could fulfill our obligation to Columbia to put out the next album was to just do a quick live one.
Right.
And the live one, it was okay, but it wasn't anywhere near as good as the things that we were doing in the studio.
When they quoted it as the holy grail of fusion recordings, I had to agree. I mean, it's a classic, and none of that, Sister Andrea, your track.
Hi guys, but hi girls. Gagliarchives, it's Richard Pinus from Eldon. Said hello from Paris. In Philadelphia. 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 Hello, Philadelphia.
So here we are. Our number one CD of 2008 is one disc that truly had it all, so to speak. Hailing from Verona, Italy, they're a unique progressive fusion band that combines futuristic synthesizers, funky rock guitars, progressive rhythms, and classical sounds on their third studio album titled Fourth. The band is Duty Free Area and have truly released a masterpiece in 2008, as it simply said the best keyboard-driven album of the year. A heavier album of their catalog, it's flooded with analog sound, synthesizers, and progressive rock guitars. A disc that was number one for 12 straight weeks on our separate weekly top 20 as well. The number one CD of 2008, my friends. This is Duty Free Area's Fourth from the Moon June Records label.